The amazing Spider-Man, a hero who has saved the Big Apple countless times, all the way from thugs to the most vile and dangerous rogues, risking his own life while sacrificing all of his desires for relationships, romantic or plutonic, job opportunities as well. The dude cannot catch a break. All what he gets in return is a bashing from J. Jonah Jameson, leading to public ridicule, plus a sad life as Peter Parker. So a dark side is bound to pop up. The question is, which one of the wall crawlers titles did a much better job of handling it? Hello and welcome, true believers. It's the infamous Devil Joe back again with a brand new video. And today I'm gonna find out which Spider-Man game has the best symbiote costume. To be clear, I am not gonna mention any crossovers or Lego games. I'm mainly talking about mainline Spidey games where he's the star of the show. So I'll be including the Bully Maguire suit from the Spider-Man 3 movie game, the Friend or Foe black suit, the absolute demon web of shadow symbiote Spidey, Josh Keaton ultimate black suit from Shattered Dimensions, Bully Lowenthal plus Anti-Venom from the Insomniac Spider-Man 2. Judging them based on the following categories: design, which alien costume looked the best; moveset, which skin suit had the sickest looking moves; crowd control, which Onichan tentacles managed entire hordes the best; damage, which symbiote costume made thugs and villains bleed out the hardest; to award the winning black suit with the heavyweight hentai tentacle championship title. Without further ado, let's get into this spectacular ranking. Our first category is design, kicking it off with the Bully Maguire suit. From Spider-Man 3, just like the movie, it's pretty much the red suit, but colored in black. Same web pattern and all. The only difference here is the altered back and front emblems, along with altering them lenses a bit. In the game it looks pretty sick swinging around in the nighttime, especially having reflective silver webs. But in the daytime the damn thing looks washed out, especially with the game's funky ass wax graphics that aged like milk. Then we got the kids game Friend or Foe, handing us the black suit to fight Mysterio's symbiote invasion. Design wise, I gotta say,
brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
it's just straight up lazy. They recolored the whole thing black, same lenses and everything. At least the last one changed them lenses up a bit and used different logos, but this one is the same everything. Web pattern, logos, lenses and all. And that's all she wrote. Now we come to the absolute menace, the Web of Shadow symbiote suit. I really like how they stuck to the classic comic book aesthetic, especially including them white squares on them wrists. A really nice touch for the classic look. Hell, even the color scheme is purple bluish looking. It's a really nice color scheme if I do say so myself. However, it could have looked a bit better. They should have given him slightly bigger lenses and raised the interconnected spider legs just a tiny bit. I'm talking about the spikes. It's fine on the back, but on the front of the suit, it's kinda off. Bro looks like he has a corset on. It looks pretty dope overall. It just needed some minor tweaking. Then we get to the time Josh Keaton used to voice a spider character that is actually Spider-Man. In particular, the ultimate Spidey in Shattered Dimensions. The suit is obviously based on Mark Bagley's work on the costume. And my god, the Forsaken suit is nothing short of gorgeous, going by a cel-shaded aesthetic, like the Ultimate Spider-Man game on the PS2, but in 1080p definition. So the suit itself has the purple bluish highlights, more predominantly purple. But my lord, them large bug-eyed lenses are nothing short of magnificent. Sure, the Ditko / Romita Jr. lenses look cool, but let's be honest, Spider-Man looks goated with them large bug-eyed lenses. And finally, the edge of the emblem has been raised up to the shoulders. The dude doesn't look like he's wearing a corset no more, making this the perfect adaptation of Mark Bagley's art. And I'm all here for it. But the next entry edged it out a bit, for pure originality and good risk-taking. Next we got Bully Lowenthal, and I gotta say, I'm digging this one. I'm talking about both of them. The armored and surge mode design. When Harry first handed it over by accident, it was attached to him, forming this fake-ass Agent Venom armor. So the alien gave him armor, that looks like a suit this Spidey would make at the end of the game for when shit hits the fan. The same idea behind the anti-ox suit. A lot of the solid body parts, like the chest and gauntlets or armor pieces. Even the mask is a helmet, where the joints are obviously fleshy looking, since the suit is still getting used to Peter's overall physiology and powers. Again, I'm really digging them huge curved bug-eyed lenses, still giving off the standard Spidey vibes. Plus that emblem is really well positioned. I like how it's big enough for it to stand out as a Spidey suit, while not being too big to distract from the overall costume's aesthetic. With the armored suit, he still looks like your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, cracking all them goofy one-liners.
I didn't know there were bears in these woods. Okay, before we get down to business, there's something I have to tell you. I'm fresh out of honey.
He'll even tell one goon to ice a wound that he just inflicted on him.
That wasn't me. You should ice that.
How kind of you, Peter. But there's a lingering darkness waiting to come out. That's where the surge comes in. The game does a spectacular Spider-Man on you, where in that show the symbiote had one look, then it slowly changes over time to another design. Even though the surge was visible once you activated the symbiote trigger, it becomes the default symbiote skin. And by God, this is the best the black suit has ever looked in any piece of Spider-Man media, comics included. I absolutely adore how this thing looks, like the MK11 Spawn suit. It's like he's wearing an extra layer of skin on top of his own skin. No armor included. I'm also digging the I'll skull fuck you to death lenses the suit is rocking. They're big alright, but not as curved as any of Spider-Man's other lenses. It's more angular, a lot more angular than the typical Toby suit, making this dude look pretty aggressive. A glance into those eyes almost feels like he's looking into your soul, due to the murderous intent on that mask. Then we get to the emblem looking its most badass. I'm digging how the legs are spread out. Two of them are reaching the shoulder, making it look hella scarier. In my book, I have no choice but to fawn over this demonic spawn suit of a symbiote costume, ditching the friendly neighborhood motif into more of a demonic dealer of death. The good folks over at Insomniac realized y'all are gonna miss the symbiote mechanics they got, so they took a hefty shit on the Anti-Venom story arc in the comics by having Miles and Mr. Negative hand the Anti-Venom symbiote over to Peter, thus giving us the amazing Seaman, looking a lot like the king of the ocean swimming in it. Or does he look like the ocean itself? Here's what I like about this suit. It starts with these Todd McFarlane lenses that are copied and pasted from his art. And I'm liking how the emblem is pretty much the advanced one, but slightly altered. I'm also digging how this suit looks way more heroic than the demonic black suit. Now we get to the top 6 designs. Number 6 on this here list is the Friend or Foe suit. The thing is just a color palette swap of the standard red suit found in this title. Taking the number 5 spot is the Toby suit in Spider-Man 3. Even though like in the movie it's just a palette swap, but the raised silver webbing plus the altered logos make this thing stand out in the nighttime. However, during the daytime, the thing looks washed out. The game's wax graphics aren't helping out much either. It ended up looking way better in the actual movie. Hell, in Spider-Man 2 they managed to make the suit look ridiculously good, no matter the time of day. Not to mention the movie accurate mods in Spider-Man on the PC. Landing in the number 4 spot is the Anti-Venom in Spider-Man 2. It's a decent looking suit, don't get me wrong. On the other hand, it could have used a rage mode that made it look a lot more like the symbiote Brock had in the comics. Coming into the number 3 spot is the symbiote suit in Web of Shadows. It's decent alright. All what it needed were raised spikes on them legs, not to make him look like he has a corset on. Even bigger lenses would have been nice. The number 2 spot goes to the ultimate Spider-Man black suit in Shattered Dimensions. I just love how this thing looks. Like a direct translation of Mark Bagley's art. Using a purple shading, the symbol is perfect. Plus them huge bug-eyed lenses makes this suit look goated as fuck. However, the other black suit edged it out a bit for adding some tiny stints. Number 1 on this here list is the Symbiote suit in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I'm liking both designs. When the symbiote first attaches itself to Peter, it makes him an armored suit. A lot like what he would end up making when shit hits the fan. Plus the game doing a full spectacular Spider-Man by changing the suit's design. Starting off with the armored look, then transitioning into this beautiful ass looking Spawn suit. I just love how demonic and alien it looks. Then we get to one of the main categories, and that is Moveset. Starting off with Bully Maguire's slick moves. Not those ones, damn it! I'm talking about combos. In general, there's no difference between him and plain as Tobey Maguire. Sure, you have the One Punch Man move Annihilator, taking out most of that health bar. That could have easily been a red suit move, because Spider-Man is already an overpowered motherfucker. With or without petrol-colored splooge on his suit. Sure, out of the goodness of his heart he pulls his punches, not to rip anyone's heads off. Great responsibility and shit. So the black suit should have gotten something a bit more brutal. Then he gets the Proto-Web Strike, Cannonball, easily transferable to the red suit. Check it out, he's got a Liu Kang bicycle kick. Not gonna lie, shit's fun to pull off. Good job, Spider-Man 3, for providing some fun with this what the fuck am I even doing combat system. Then there's this one move allowing the Webhead to shoot out web balls like his Dante repeatedly shooting Ebony and Ivory. Again, Spider-Man does not need the black goop for rapid fire web balls. Then we get to the Devil Trigger stand-in, Rage Mode. But here's the thing. Who the fuck decided to make it mashable? Imagine playing a Devil May Cry God of War or any other action game and you have to mash the activation button. You'll wind up smashing that controller like a madman. Other than that, it does its job of dealing more damage along with reflex. Ground attacks draining the rage meter, so the DT knockoff makes it all the more worthwhile to have the black suit. As a first attempt to add moves to the alien costume, it was a nudge in the right direction. However, most of the moves might as well be red suit moves. Friend or foe, where do I start with you? Where the fuck are the unique moves? At least in Spider-Man 3, there were moves exclusive to the black suit. But here, web attacks, punches, and kicks are the exact same. No difference whatsoever. It's only a color palette swap. Then we get to the monster of a game, Web of Shadows, coming in with hella hentai tentacles, cooldowns, basic moves, wall bat, I mean everything. Once you're fully upgraded, your air attacks at first are basic punches in the air. Don't get me wrong, they do slap like hell. Maxed out on the other hand, claws pop out to them tentacles, quite literally bitch slapping anyone while airborne, wrecking everything around it, concrete included. When it comes to them basic attacks, you literally have a tentacle whip. After that one basic combo, you'll have one scorpion tentacle whip, wiping out a whole crowd. Push the square button again, a huge fuck off cyclone attack clearing out an entire city block. Full of them creepy crawlies. Man, if only cool shit like this was put back into Insomniac's Spider-Man 2. Wait, it only gets better, far more orgasmic if I do say so myself. After that cyclone, Peter does the infamous front flip of death, followed up by shooting out huge tentacle swarms that take care of absolutely everything, tearing everybody apart, including an entire fucking block, proving that Symbiote Spider-Man is one hell of a savage on demon timing, who has no need for cooldowns like someone we all know. He has those too in this one. They actually count. L1 Circle has the webhead using them gooey ass hentai tentacles, pulling in a shit ton of uglies in the same spot, ending off in an AoE shockwave, clearing them off the city streets. Walls, hell, even the skies, using the circle button gets the webhead to ground and pound them symbiotes, beating them to a bloody pulp, disregarding his own no-kill rule at this point. Hell, you can even smash the ground for some AoEs, draining the red meter. Told you they actually mattered here. Then we have them web strikes, and my god, Shaba Games were cooking hard with them. There's the standard web strike, where he jumps off the enemy and the throw. Standard stuff, the red suit has these. But my guy has been taking a page out of Dante's book of surfing his enemies across Manhattan, pummeling them in the process. Man, I love this damn game. Then we get to the wallbat portion with powerful basic attacks. But what the fuck are those giant rotating spikes deleting everything from the building sides? Shit's insane. I almost forgot to mention the Magneto symbiote explosion, where Peter takes his own symbiote using part of it, blowing everybody off of the NYC pavement through that explosion. Plus that tentacle pull allowing you to pull off a Kratos, where you can yank enemies to smash them on the ground or on your foes themselves using them like a weapon. One thing making this insane moveset all the better is this one feature. The ability to switch red and black suits on the fly, flipping between those two movesets to pull off arguably the most stylish combo mods you'll ever do in a Spider-Man title. Check this footage out from the Mad Memer DMC player BG. Is it Big or BG? How do you pronounce that? Still, his footage shows off the game's full potential, making this one to have by far the raddest moves in any Spidey game like ever. Heading over to that one game that carried Web of Shadows' legacy of Tendril gameplay Shattered Dimensions. Doing a pretty solid job of creatively putting together some pretty cool looking skills, with the square button being a tentacle slap. Push it a second time, he'll pull out larger whips, slapping their shit. He even pulls out two of these Onichan tentacles from his own back to rush at a few guys. The launcher whip itself is pretty cool looking. Plus, this air combo is pretty stylish to look at. You got the spike attack, where the webhead pulls out blades from the suit, knocking everyone off, providing a good AoE. Then Rage Mode comes into the picture, extending the tendril length, pulling out them cyclones, making the thing look way more badass than it already is. The fine folks over at Insomniac, being the Spidey fans they are, have decided to include their own spin on the symbiote costume, rushing the story along and making the thing function a lot like Miles' Venom powers. Let me explain, a lot of Peter's moves are the same punch kick fair that the standard suit has, but them prototype looking tendrils, rush attacks, AoE explosions, or cooldowns that need to be charged plus a rage. I mean Surge Mode, pulling out tendrils with every attack leading into an instant KO. Once them cooldown meters are full, L1 in square gives you the symbiote punch, getting the enemies to forcefully stick to the wall, taking most of them out, next to a wall or on a building. Hey, check this out, the power of L1 and triangle gets the webhead to rush forward at enemies, ending off with a launcher that carries them into the air for a few aerial combos. I like how good that animation looks, with an AoE blast to tag along, getting the web slinger to make a huge crowd of dudes, ganging up on him to fuck off in a heartbeat, with that prototype-esque looking animation. Speaking of prototype references, the symbiote yank is here to lift off a whole ass army of thugs, symbiotes, hunters, cultists, you name that shit, to smash their faces in. While these moves are effective and pretty damn cool looking, not to mention fun to use, but after going back to Web of Shadows for this video, I couldn't help but feel
You're a fucking disappointment.
the problem I have here is the system is too reliant on cooldowns for the actual tendrils, with the symbiote having little to no differences in Spidey's overall combos. While Web of Shadows did have its own cooldowns for some overpowered as fuck moves, that game allowed you to have shitloads of fun using tendrils through basic combos alone. A grab-hold mechanic, shredding these motherfuckers on the side of the fucking walls. AoEs that could tear through the streets of Manhattan. By learning the actual moveset, made the symbiote ridiculously laugh out fun to use, differentiating it from the red suit in that one title. The differences between them were practically night and day, to the point of making you not want to take the damn thing off. And that was the whole point. It feels like Insomniac kind of gimped the player by making these tendrils adhere to a lot of stop-and-go conventions of modern game design. I like the Surge Mode here. It's not exactly Web of Shadows or Shattered Dimensions hentai tentacle action. Don't get me wrong, I like how the animations look and everything. I also like the idea that basic tentacle attacks are back from Shattered Dimensions. But here's the catch. After 2 love taps from the square button, Spider-Man goes for the instant circle triangle takedown, pretty good for insta-KOing enemies, but they could have handed something a tad bit better. I don't know, like exclusive rage mode combos, or at least make these cooldowns unlimited while you're in rage mode. Check this, the button for shooting standard ass web shots is the impact web. That was a gadget in the last Insomniac game. What the fuck happened, Insomniac? Why are y'all getting lazy up in here? Normally I would move on to anti-venom, but here's the thing. Both are exactly the same when it comes to the toolkit. It brings along 2 moves with it that can't be used wearing the black costume. Check this, there's an exclusive anti-venom bomb that was used against you while you were fighting Symbiote Peter as Miles. That can also be used by Symbiote Peter in both anti and alien costume. Peter can use the Tempest, an AoE that can launch enemies into the air to deal some pretty decent AoE damage. That can also be used by the black suit. Good job, Insomniac, on making these 2 symbiotes feel completely different from each other. I did have loads of fun playing around with the Alex Mercer looking abilities in Spider-Man 2. However, it might appear to look like Prototype. Them animations might bring back the memories. But you gotta trust me when I say, it's far, and I mean far removed from Prototype. That game allowed you to pull off over-the-top Onichan attacks anytime per your will. Web of Shadows is a lot more accurate to that Prototype essence of absolute freedom and destruction. Despite minor cooldowns, the problems I personally have with the symbiote abilities in SM2 is the over-reliance on cooldowns. They charge up relatively quickly, but in cutscenes, Peter is not afraid to pull them out almost at every turn. Insomniac should have gave it a moveset outside of the cooldowns to make the costume more distinct. I still had a blast using it, but it was mogged by these 2. Then we get to the top 5 moves. Number 5 on this here list is the underwhelming friend or foe. I mean, if you have a Spider-Man game using the black suit as a major part of your story while not having any unique moves, then what's the point of having it in the first place? Landing in the number 4 spot is the Bully Maguire suit in the Raimi Spider-Man 3 game. While a lot of the moves can easily fit into the regular Tobey Maguire toolkit, but at least there was an attempt to do something new with the black goop. Plus, the rage mode is kinda cool actually. It's just a pain in the dick to activate. In the number 3 spot is sadly what we got in Spider-Man 2. While the Tendril attacks are fun to play around with, this game is too reliant on the dreaded cooldowns. While Surge mode is only theirs to take down Frenzy, without any unique tricks of its own. It had potential to be something great, but modern game design absolutely gimped both alien costumes. In the number 2 spot, we got the Ultimate Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions. The moves here are pretty damn cool. The best part is the Tendrils are available all the damn time, coming with a rage mode that actually doubles the damage dealt. Makes it a cut above Insomniac's Spider-Man 2. Stealing the number 1 spot and landing there comfortably is Web of Shadows, for handing over kick-ass Tendril moves that are not only creative as fuck, they carry a shit ton of utilities, and how laugh out loud fun and stylish they are to use. Now we're at the crowd control category, starting off with the Bully Maguire suit. What I found was that crowd control came from sheer strength. It has moves like the One Punch Man Annihilator that can deal with a bunch of dudes, missile drop included. While the rage mode is up, One Punch can deal with an army of thugs. Some of them web balls are a decent crowd control tool, but they're not anything major or whatever. Moving on to friend or foe with quite literally no crowd control properties whatsoever. No moves! The closest thing is this web attack and web ball. You guessed it, the same deal with the red suit, without any unique moves of its own. What the shit, Biscuit? I feel like I just got scammed. Then we get to the Sigma Terminator of a Demon, Web of Shadows black suit. You wanna talk about crowd control? This thing crowd fucks everything due to them tentacles. The tentacle whip on its own is the ultimate crowd control tool, managing entire hordes of enemies and symbiotes. Not to mention the final attack. Pure crowd fucking. Even the pavements and cars aren't safe from the tentacle barrage. taking everything out in its path. Them cooldowns minus the ground pound takes out a bunch of guys, especially the ground smash. Air whips once upgraded deals with a ton of flying vultures. It ain't even funny. That Magneto symbiote pull explosion clears up entire crowds without even trying. On the walls, them tentacles actually helped with that one helicarrier mission. No joke, I was deleting Venom's kids off of the buildings like clockwork. I mean, look at this man. Are you sure that he still has a no-kill rule? I think he threw it out of the window a long time ago. Even that counterattack could yeet an entire ass population into the stratosphere. The basic elbow combo allows Spider-Man to deal with an entire gang of guys. Then we get to the legit Spider Josh Keaton in Shattered Dimensions. The crowd control he has is pretty damn phenomenal, using them tentacles wiping out entire hordes of goons. It quite literally gets better once that rage is turned up. Them tentacles get larger and at the same time harder. And I mean harder like you won't believe. Slamming down an entire horde, scattering them apart from each other. I'm not so sure if he's still abiding by that no-kill rule, yet showing Wade Wilson to be the worst employer of the century. Having his gullible fanbase, who I would have been a part of in that situation, to get smacked around, potentially killed by this bloodlusted webhead. Then we head to Bully Lowenthal and Anti-Venom. Yeah, the movesets are very identical, no difference whatsoever. With that symbiote strike, you can rush and take care of 5 different people. More than that, in fact. Launching them into the air, getting you to combo them up as much as you'd like. Then we get to the AoE blast, that acts like the get off of me button, that allows you to get large hordes off your back, even taking them all out in some cases. Best crowd control tool Lowenthal has, in my opinion, has to be that symbiote yank, that looks like it came straight from Prototype, catching multiple enemies, slamming them to the ground, helping and managing out a shit ton of hunters, thugs, and symbiotes. That Tempest, though, it raises a whole group of enemies to then back them off in the air. Even the bomb itself deals with a shit ton of enemies. So yeah, I still can't get over how well them crowd control strats work in SM2. My only problem is that all of them moves are boiled down to cooldowns. Especially after getting 2 games that did the whole tentacle moveset thing without needing much cooldowns, and the 1 game that actually had cooldowns, they really mattered in that game. Number 5 on this list is Friend or Foe at the bottom of the barrel. A beat 'em up with no crowd control options for Black Suit Spider-Man. What's even the point? In the number 4 spot is Bully Maguire. Not because the crowd control is weak or anything, it's just that it doesn't have anything unique to it. Only relying on brute strength. Where the Monichan tentacles at? Number 3 on this list is Insomniac Spider-Man 2. While all the crowd control options are solid, don't get it twisted, they're solid as hell. On the other hand, the cooldown reliance ruins the whole thing for me, especially after revisiting other Spidey games. There should have been more of an effort to give Peter different moves, using the symbiote to utilize them tentacles more, to get more creative with them. Landing in the number 2 spot is Ultimate Not Sean Marquette Spider-Man, Shattered Josh Keaton Dimensions. My god, the crowd control here is ridiculously good, helping you out in managing a whole gauntlet of enemies at all times while being fun to mess around with. Number 1 on this here list is the Web of Shadows Black Suit, the testosterone-filled symbiote, minus that voice. Like I said before, this thing is the absolute crowd fucker, to the point of committing violent grapes. Purple ones too. A lot of the aerial and ground moves tears entire hordes off the NYC map. No matter where you are, them tentacles wreck everything. Hard like a motherfucker. It doesn't even hurt that they're so much fun to use. Then we're over to the damage category to find out which one of them parasite thingies dealt the most amount of punishment. Starting with the Spider-Man 3 Black Suit. It has a habit of deleting a lot of the petty thugs just by a few punches and kicks. Mash the R1 button for the... Oh god, I still can't believe they decided to make the rage mode mashable. What the hell happened to pushing the button? Just like in every other video game that has that feature. It already makes Spidey into the One Punch Man. Add all the attacks along with that Spider Reflex exploit, you'll melt off most major boss health bars in a heartbeat. giving you a much easier time handling these encounters. Good on you, Treyarch, for getting a grip on the symbiote multiplying Spidey's strength. Then we get to friend or foe dealing a bit more damage than the red suit. It isn't exactly devastating or anything, it's slightly more than red suit Spidey. If I am being real, it's kind of a letdown. You might as well play as Venom for extra symbiotic damage. Moving on to the title that has no fear of the webhead strength since any other Spider-Man game, since and after Web of Shadows. The red suit in this game is overpowered, dealing high damage on its own. However, the black suit is the embodiment of chaos and destruction, and even death itself. Basic punches and kicks are more than enough to melt off entire health bars when it comes to your enemies, no matter who or what they are. Run-of-the-mill thugs, kingpin bots, symbiotic venomites bosses, they are guaranteed to lose most of that HP into the stratosphere. That's without mentioning tendrils or web strikes, where the whip mops the floor with everybody, leaving all the enemies dead in the crossfire, with them specials absolutely murdering the shit out of, well, everybody. When it comes to the AoEs, this costume has it, nuking everything off the map. Even them cars and bystanders aren't safe, like at all. Caught up into that chaotic crossfire, making this symbiote Spider-Man the most overpowered. Then we get to Josh Keaton's Ultimate Spider-Man in Shattered Dimensions. And I gotta say, this kid can be quite brutal when it comes to using that alien skin suit. For one, his hentai tentacles absolutely delivers the smackdown on everyone who dares stand in his way, wiping off everyone off the map, no rage mode included. Activated, then your damage is doubled, melting off boss health bars, while wiping off enemies in an almost KO fashion. Wait, I just realized something right about now. Deadpool has literally got a whole oil rig full of his fan base to get murked by a symbiotically overpowered Spider-Man. The fuck, Wilson? How twisted can you get? They're ordinary run-of-the-mill humans. They don't deserve this kind of torment. I mean, damn, the mark with a mouth is truly a sick and twisted individual. And god damn it, do I love him for it. Now we get to Insomniac Spider-Man, the second game. And while it deals more damage than Peter's standard suit, or suits, on the other hand, it ain't on the same level as something like Web of Shadows, or even a Shattered Dimensions. However, in the context of the game, it solos thugs and hunters quite easily, only using basic punches, and with the tendrils nullifying your normal-ass human enemies, while making the symbiotes a bit more of a fair fight. The tendrils with the anti-venom and regular symbiote can even finish off a couple of fights pretty damn quickly. The surge mode using them both gets the web slinger to go on a takedown frenzy, instantly taking everyone out, no questions asked. At the bottom of the barrel in this list is friend or foe, doing a tiny bit of added damage, being a complete disappointment. Number 4 on this here list is the Toby Spider-Man suit, the symbiote one. Sure, it's powerful, deleting boss health bars and all. However, it doesn't exactly slap, like in the other Spider-Man titles that had the symbiote costume. But hey, the movie had no tentacles. Number 3 on this list is the Insomniac Spider-Man, doing a crap ton of damage, even ending a couple of fights quickly. The problem here are them cooldowns. Not gonna lie, it's a powerful suit. Both of them, Venom and Anti-Venom. It's just the limiter holding it back, compared to the craziness that went down in other Spider-Man games. In the number 2 spot, we got Ultimate Spider-Man from Shattered Dimensions. The black suit is packing a crazy amount of damage, even on brutes and bosses. That is doubled by that rage meter, melting off a ton of health bars. Number 1 in the damage category is the Web of Shadows symbiote. When it comes to damage, this suit pulls off laugh out loud hella damage, deleting bosses and enemies off of the battlefield. It's pretty ridiculous if I'm being real. I'd even say it's fucking diabolical. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the grandstand of crowning the World Hentai Tentacle Championship title. Time to usher in this top 5. In the number 5 spot is friend or foe, The symbiote's inclusion feels completely pointless here. No moves or crowd control, only a slight damage buff. Again, what's the point? Landing in the number 4 spot is Raimi's Spider-Man 3. The moves are pretty much very transferable over into the classic red suit. No point of the black suit. But hey, the rage mode is here, multiplying the damage. Number 3 on this here list is unfortunately Insomniac Spider-Man 2. Here's the thing, both symbiote costumes are fun to use. However, the two of them are extremely samey. Anti-Venom should have had exclusive moves that the standard symbiote shouldn't have access to. Even the Tendrils are cursed by the dreaded cooldowns, with the base moves being the same deal as the standard red suit. Plus Surge mode is only the unlimited takedowns for a short period of time, till the meter runs out. Nothing too fancy here, folks. Landing in the number 2 spot is the Shattered Dimension Symbiote suit. For one, the moves here are nothing short of fun. Solid to use, and the rage mode that blows Spider-Man 2 and 3's rage modes out of the water. Shit is fun beyond belief. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the World Hentai Tentacle Championship title, Web of Shadows Spider-Man, the Terminator. Bruv, this has to be the greatest implementation of the symbiote Spider-Man ever. In any sort of Spidey game, mechanics and gameplay wise, surpassing the comics themselves in terms of abilities, allowing you to play around with his sheer raw strength and power, with some of the most creative moves ever seen in the webhead's entire video game history, providing shit tons of chaotic fun. And the best part is you can mix and match this moveset with the red suit's moveset, making the most stylish combos you've ever seen in any Spider-Man title like ever. With that out of the way, we come to the end of this video. What were your guys' thoughts on it? And which symbiote suit deserves to win the World Heavyweight Hentai Tentacle Championship title? Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and smash that subscribe button Symbiote Tendril style. At 10,000 subscribers, I'll do a real-life Dante combo video in full cosplay. Click the bell icon to get updated on whenever I upload a brand new Spider-Man or other action game video. This has been the infamous Devil Joe signing out.